In this video, let's talk about how to set your initial product price and how to evolve that price.
This video is brought to you by EpiPies Academy.
Because the price can change and there's only so much theory that you can guess and apply to the pricing, but that's imperfect. Some of the process is actually in the real world, and we're going to talk about that in this video. So, first thing you want to do is understand what the market rate is. For most businesses, there already is a market and a market rate. And for businesses for entrepreneurs that think that they have not a lot of competition or their product is very innovative, find something not that far removed from what you're selling. So essentially, for all intensive purposes, every product or service has a comparative, not competitive, but comparative service or product and comparative price that's not too far. Now, I'm going to give you a few ideas of how to massage the price, and then I'm going to give you an idea of how to find the ideal price. So, how to massage the price. If you are new and you're struggling, right, you have no credibility, your competitors have credibility. So the way you win people over is, of course, by your differentiation. And one of the ways that you differentiate is of course, you can differentiate in many ways, but one of the ways is pricing. You want to price a little bit cheaper so that people who can't afford your competition will come to you. But you don't want to compete on price too much because you will force your competitors to come down, and then you'll have to come a little lower down, and they'll come down, and then everyone loses. Every business loses. Customers win because they get the same thing for cheaper, but all the businesses lose. So you have to underbid your competitors very responsibly, because this can come. It's a short-term win, and it's a long-term damage to the whole ecosystem. Okay, if you are a boutique higher-end business, you can raise whatever the market rate that you found. You can raise your price a little bit because your differentiation is compelling in quality. You're giving more, you're giving something better, so you can raise the price a little bit from the market rate. You can decrease the price if the competition is tough. If it's a very competitive market, you know, one of the ways, unfortunately, is competitive markets. The price competition comes into play, so then you lower the price a little bit. And conversely, if there's a few competitors, then you raise the price. A good example of this is, let's say you're selling t-shirts. Well, if you're selling t-shirts on Amazon, you're competing with a whole bunch of other t-shirt retailers. But if you're selling t-shirts, the same t-shirts, but on your website or in person somewhere, where you're the only one selling it, then guess what? There's not a lot of other people selling the t-shirts. So at least not in the immediate proximity. So you can sell them a little bit more expensively because you have no one to undercut you in price, and you sort of set the price for that immediate market. So these are the ways you increase, decrease a little bit the price. But here's how to really get into the ideal price. You have to talk to your potential customers, new customers, and you have to sell in person. You have to talk to people who are making the buying decision, and you have to segment out and get to understand the different types of personas who might buy your product. For example, a book. There might be a college student reading a book. It might be a senior person reading the same book. They're going to expect different prices. They're going to be different affluence level. So you want to understand your marketing channels, and you want to talk as much as possible to these people. If you can talk in person, that's better, or over Skype or something like that, where you can see their facial expressions. It's much better because you will be able to determine what's right and wrong in the sales process, and you'll be able to fix that. And if they're cringing on the price, then for that segment of the population, the price is not very good. You got to lower the price a little bit, because you're losing people on the price. Or you can press on the discounts, because that's the way to lower the price without actually lowering the price. So you gotta experiment by definitely going out and talking to people, but also you have to experiment with different prices for your company. Try different prices. When you're new, it's much easier to actually change prices. Of course, people who bought something for a more expensive price, if they ever see that your price came down, they'll get irritated. But you have to experiment. And experiments work kind of like this. Most of them won't work. Most of them won't show any results. Some of them will lose you money, but some of them will show you, give you a sense for the right path long term. And that right path is worth more than all the little short term losses. So if you lose a little money in the short term, that's the cost of experimentation. If you're frustrated, there's few results, that's the cost of experimentation. But the experimentation is the only way to get to the ideal price. And you should never really ultimately stop experimenting, because you need to refine and refine and refine and refine prices. And the more you refine them, of course, the more you get closer to the ideal price, which will help you beat competitors. It will help you convert more customers. And of course, every converted customer has the potential to have a lifetime additional value. So a good entry price that's also good for you in terms of profitability is something that you, number one, talk to potential customers. Number two, relentlessly experiment in the real world.